This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm Jody. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Bruce.
Jody,
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We made it.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
It was a long one. It was a long one, but yet it seemed like 2019 went by really quick. We were busy.
It did.
So many different things, and then I'm like, wait, oh wow, that year's done.
I know, and here we are. Not just a new year, a new decade.
Oh, I know. It's been weird, like thinking about, oh, that was 10 years ago, or like that was over 10 years ago, or something. You know, just like remembering different things, like, oh, where, and then you start thinking, oh, where was I 10 years ago? What was I doing? Am I where I wanted to be in 10 years? Like that kind of stuff. You start kind of spinning those ideas in your head.
It's kind of that end of,
I did.
That end of year, end of decade sort of thing where that kind of happens. And so I think that is probably part of the reason that it is resolution season, where everybody's starting to think about, how can I make myself better, or my life, or, and I mean, what is it, 40-60% of those, something like that, don't,
I'm sure it's
the resolutions
more than that.
don't last.
They don't stick.
Yeah. So it is, I like the idea of resolutions, but like making that a mandatory thing, that's hard. It's hard to make a big change anyway. So I figured we could kind of talk about our resolutions, or whether, I guess the first question is, do you do resolutions?
Well, I do more like goals. Like I want to do I mean, I guess it's a resolution, but it's more like I want to do this.
Sure.
More like create better habits and get rid of the bad habits kind of thing.
Right.
So like it's resolutions, but more I think about it as a goal that I want to achieve.
Sure.
Because it feels more like, oh, I want to be here in a year, or I want to be doing more of this year.
Right.
I think that's where I kind of put my focus on.
I'm similar in that I'm not thinking about resolutions as much as goals, or a specific thing that I want. And I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to look at the beginning of the year and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. And for me, my goals are never specifically focused on, like, I'm not looking at weight loss stuff. I'm not doing diets. Those are the most common resolutions that you hear people. I want to lose whatever X amount of pounds.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. That
has never really, I mean, I've been more like, I want to work out more because it helps me sleep. It improves my mood.
Right.
It's maybe, that kind of stuff. It's not about losing weight.
Sure.
And I would never do diets because those are ridiculous to me. Cause
right.
I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat what I want. Yeah. Maybe, like this year, I want to try and eat more, vegetables and fruit and stuff more regularly. That's kind of the diet I'm going to be on, where it's just, I want to do something, eat better more regularly.
Makes sense.
Not, I need to only eat what, I don't even know, 500 calories or 1,000 calories a day.
That stuff,
whatever that is, because I'm not going to do it.
No, it's horrible to try and focus on that. And there's so much around that stuff that's difficult. For me, the biggest thing for me is, I guess technically it started at the end of 2019. I've talked about it before that I've been riding my bike more.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm riding because I love riding my bike. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it. My Christmas gift this year was an Apple Watch.
Oh, okay.
And for me, I love having like data, information on, I mean, we track our beers through the Untapped app.
Yeah.
You've got the check-in apps for when you go to different places. I use those like crazy.
Yeah.
Now I use Strava to track like where I'm going and how long I've gone. And it's not because I'm trying to.
That's the biking thing.
It's a biking app.
Okay.
It's an app it's an app for cycling, running, swimming, maybe something else I can't think of.
Okay.
But I use it specifically for cycling, and I had been using it on my phone. And I'm not using it as like I'm trying to hit a specific goal. I just like seeing the numbers and being aware of that stuff.
Well, what is it? You can't, if you don't track it, you can't improve it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you are.
Right.
So you have to track it to be able to improve it.
Totally. And I think for me, it's like, I'm not I just want the numbers because I like to see, oh, okay, you did 183 miles last year. You know, that may not be a lot for somebody else, but for me, I like being able to see the number and just knowing the thing. That is what it is for me. And so with Strava, I'd been doing that with my phone, but I had to have my phone in this giant, horrible thing that's hooked to my bike that holds my phone.
Yeah, okay.
So I wanted to get the watch specifically because Strava hooks into the watch. There's an Apple Watch app for Strava, and I can track all that stuff and just kind of go.
It just does it like track. It just tracks like your miles and where
it tracks your miles. It tracks your speed. It gives you. It looks at your heartbeat. You know, all these different things. So you can really get into it and see. And I just like to see it. You know, I'm not doing anything with it. And I mean, even to the point of I'm not trying to become a better cyclist or anything. Right now I'm doing it every day because I like doing it. Because for me personally, I've realized that I spend a lot of my time at a desk or a table or sitting or typing or something. My body has been telling me that it wants me to move around.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with weight loss or anything like that. For me, I want more energy and I just want to do something. And if my body's telling me this, I'm just going to follow along with it. So that has been the thing for me. And it has been a lot of fun to be able to just get out there and kind of explore and ride around. And shout out to Zeiss Bikes for making a bike that holds a bigger person that actually works and helps you get around. That has been, it's been really cool. And that has been the thing for me. So I don't really have a specific goal other than I want to ride every day. And I've missed a couple days, but I've been able to do it generally.
That's fine as long as you get back out there and just keep going and don't get down on yourself about missing a day or whatever. And
I guess my
it's just doing more of the thing that you want to do.
It is.
It's not being like
don't
be rigid about I have to do it every day.
And don't beat yourself up over it. That's So
you're doing it more than you were before. So
I am absolutely
keep on that kind of thing.
My general goal has been I'm trying to do 5 miles a day, and that's just there's no rhyme or reason to that. It's just 5 miles is about a half an hour for me. So that's a good amount of time for me to do it.
And if that's working for you and you can do that on a regular basis, then maybe you'll go up, maybe
whatever. Exactly. And I mean, the last couple of days I've done about 3 just based on what amount of time I've had. I rode in the rain today. That was a horrible experience, but I'm still gonna
pouring off and on today. It's
and I rode in the dark last night, which was an interesting experience as well. I've got lights, but one of my lights, there's a bunch of stuff on the handlebars. So one of my lights kind of points up. So it was not exactly shining in my face, but it was high enough to where it was kind of blinding me.
Weird.
Got to work on that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's my big thing as far as more traditional kind of goals or resolutions go. And it's not even don't be hard on yourself about resolutions or you won't do them. Find something that you enjoy, go with it.
And like I said, I want to do the eating veggies more regularly because busy life, and I don't eat as great as I want to be doing. So, and just adding more of those to my diet on a regular basis. That's just like you said, just doing more of the good stuff. And my biggest thing around that is packing my lunch.
Oh, nice.
Or bringing a lunch to work. Cause that's when I eat the worst is at lunch. Cause you only get so many options in the little area that I work and most of them are not great. So it's okay, I just need to pack a lunch, add a couple, an apple or what, add some good things in there. And then I'll be
just go with
so much better. Cause then I always have that afternoon just crash. When I eat bad food. So I'm just trying to eat better. Just so I have that more energy in the afternoon because it's just really killing me.
Nice.
Or I have to go get more coffee and then, it's just like vicious cycle and then I don't sleep. And then, so I'm okay, pack a good lunch, and then I will have more energy throughout the day.
Makes sense.
So that's kind of
well, it is hard when you work somewhere and if you don't take your lunch, then just trying to figure out what you know, there's only so much fast food you can eat before you're sick and tired of it.
Yeah, you know? Everything that is in my area, I'm sick and tired of at my work spot. So it's like, and it will help with another one of my goals, which is getting a better budget.
Oh, yes. That's the other thing is it's not cheap.
No, eating out every day. Because if you want to eat healthy, it's really expensive.
Right.
Like all the healthy food is expensive. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I have an app that I will use for my budgeting.
Yes.
You need a better budget. YNAB. I can't even find it right now.
YNAB.
I started using it a couple years ago. I wasn't the greatest about it, but I'm going to make more of a commitment to doing it more this year, just to track some of my spending. Because I know that like my lunch is one thing that I'm really spending a lot on. And then the coffee, you know, like it just kind of compounds on itself. So I kind of figured out where it starts, and that's at lunch.
Oh, right.
So then,
it's always a sobering thing to me to look at my budget and what I've spent money on.
I don't love it because I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Or that's a lot of Uber rides that I took this year or something, you know, like whatever. I'm like, what the heck?
I have a tendency to want to beat myself up when I go back and look at that stuff. So it's like,
that's what I did the first time I started using it. I would get upset with myself about why are you spending so much money on that? Why don't you understand that that's not working for you?
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna be like, I just need to know where it's going so that I know what to do better next time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of had to just reframe it in my brain about what my goals were with using it instead of like, you're being bad spending money here. Just like, well, just where is it going so that I know.
Which makes sense. It's easier if you think about it that way. Because you can spend your money on whatever you want, whatever you want. But knowing where it's going and looking at those trends, it's another one of those things. And that's probably why I would like that app, is just being able to look at the trends, look at the numbers. Yeah,
because you put it in a category and then it starts to learn like where you're spending money.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be like, oh, is this transportation or is this food or is this whatever? And then you can also set goals in there.
Oh, nice.
In the app to like, oh, I have like a trip I want to go on. So I need to plan where that money, if I start now, it'll be just like a couple dollars out of each week.
Cool.
Instead of like, oh my God, we're going on a trip next week.
Right.
I need money for that trip, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Nice.
I like it.
We need to open the beer.
Okay.
All right. So this beer is it is a beloved beer.
Beloved.
That comes from a brewery in Cooperstown, New York called Ommegang.
Ommegang.
Yes.
I was struggling with that name.
And this beer is called Three Philosophers. It has been around for a long time. People love it.
There are a lot of variations on the Three Philosophers.
There are indeed, and this is a variation that is not as beloved as the original, but it's the one I saw.
Nice.
So here we are. So it is, and I got this specifically for you because I wanted to bring you the best, Jody.
Yes.
And I know that you like heavier beers.
Okay, thank you.
This one is a coffee beer. It is a blueberry coffee, Three Philosophers, a blend of quadruple ale and Belgian Creek ale, which maybe pronounced crick. I honestly don't know.
Whatever.
With cherries and with blueberries and coffee.
Nice.
So let's.
On the Untapped, it says it's a 9.7 ABV, so it's a high alcohol content.
Yes.
It's only got a 30 IBU, which is pretty good, and it's roasted with Ethiopian coffee.
Ooh. Fancy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are pouring this into our B cups. That was my first pour.
That's all right.
It's always the worst.
Yeah, it's got like a darker.
It looks rich.
A darker brown, but it's not like, it doesn't look really thick.
Yeah, there's more here. Yes. Let's see. So, married with blueberries and freshly roasted Ethiopian coffee beans, our acclaimed blend of quadruple ale and authentic Belgian Creek bursts into uncharted territory. If it's subtlety you're seeking, look elsewhere. This bold brew demands attention.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
It's got some like kind of berry type. I can kind of smell the coffee a little bit,
smooth.
but I don't.
Smooth. Yeah.
I like that. Oh boy, it's knock things over.
I like the aftertaste. You get a little bit of the cherry there.
Yeah, the little tart blueberry cherry, whatever.
You would not know that this is a 9.7? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't know this is a 9.7% beer.
No, it doesn't hit you.
And there are most certainly some beers that I had a beer recently, just in the last few days, that was like, I don't know, it was like an 8, and you could taste all 8%. Yeah. It was. I think
the cherry blueberry kind of cuts some of that.
It's smooth. This is good. Yeah. Dangerous. Oh
yeah.
Sneaks up on you.
What did you call it?
Amagang.
Amagang.
Yeah.
Oh, because they split it up with their logo.
Yep.
The little lion thing.
Yeah. And so it is. It's a good one, and I saw that, and I wasn't aware that they do varieties. They do different variations.
Yeah, they have quite a few different ones. When I was looking it up on Untappd.
Yeah, you can definitely get the blueberry as well, and it doesn't taste artificial to me, which is nice.
It's not super fruity. It's just got a little tartness to it.
Not enough to blow you away and turn you off if you don't like those kind of beers.
It's good.
Perfect.
Thank you, Bruce.
Sure. So another thing for me this year, another goal for me is to be more engaged. And this kind of runs across the board for me, to be more engaged with my family and my friends, and to be more engaged with work. Like I felt like last year was kind of a weird year for me. It took me a little while to kind of step back and look at this over the last couple of weeks, and I just feel like I was kind of on cruise control in 2019, where it was a lot of, as opposed to me really seeking out and doing the things that I wanted to do or the things that bring me joy.
Okay.
I was kind of just doing whatever fell into my lap, especially with work, where it was like, just doing, you got to do these things that come up here, whether it's because you got to pay the bills, so you're focused on that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of missed out on I kind of forgot about the reasons that I love doing the work that I do.
Yeah.
And I didn't focus as much on those things.
Okay.
And so a big thing for me, especially with work, is just doing more of the things that I love and more of the things that I care about within my work, because that's the stuff that got me here. And it's easy to get caught up in the monotony, the day-to-day, and all the things that you don't really care as much about.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Yeah, you just kind of get into like cruise control, working, you just kind of get into that routine of work.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm similar in that sort of aspect this past year. It was a lot of things got promoted, got a lot of things happened at my work.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I need to get, work-life balance, just figuring out what that is for me.
Yeah.
And then that kind of led me to one of my goals for 2020 is to explore my hobbies or more hobbies or new hobbies.
Nice.
Because it does feel like I just go to work, come home, go to sleep, get up, So, whether it's the improv that I started doing or painting or, whatever, it's some other things I want to maybe try, just kind of exploring some of those new hobbies so I can kind of find more time for me and
definitely,
friends and family, that kind of thing, doing those things. And
yeah,
I think that is what it is really important. That's why I'm working so much, is for me and my partner Bjorn,
totally
to get us to the next level, whatever.
Right.
But focusing like, oh, well, this is why I'm doing it, but I need to still stay connected with my friends and my family, because that's also really important to me. So
I feel like, one of the things that I did with this was I thought, okay, I want to be more proactive, be more aware, more focused on the things that are important to me. And then I thought about, what does that mean? I think it means saying yes to more things, especially when it comes to work and when it comes to opportunities, different things like that. I didn't last year. I just wasn't I don't know. I was a little burnt out, maybe. I mean, the highlight of the year was that we had our baby. We've got a now almost 7-month-old in the house that, that definitely, that'll change things for a while. It's, we've got older kids, but now we've got a baby in the house. So that definitely, it changes things. And so there was this new baby in the house that I was able to focus on. And it also, at least in my mind, allowed me to be more like, the machine is running. I can keep doing what I'm doing. And so now I don't want to do that. So it's just about being more creative, doing more of these things that I really want to do and pushing out there. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to my family and friends, it's, just being there more, taking more of those opportunities and getting, to be there, to enjoy my time with people and just have that, so it's all those kind of things. I think that stuff is so important, and you can work it in around everything else that you have to do. So
yeah. I think another one of my big ones is taking my vacation time from work. Like I seem to just sort of, I want to work. I'm really focused. I want to get it done. I like my job, but I also need that time away,
right,
to re-energize myself, focus on me and my family and friends.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a two for like exploring things, but then taking the time to actually do those things.
Right.
I get the time, I get paid, PTO, so I need to just actually use it and,
take it,
kind of plan it out and be prepared for it. So I'm excited about actually using all my PTO this next year.
I love it.
I'm still trying to finish up using some of mine because our calendar year doesn't end until like the end of January. So
perfect.
Got a little bit more to go.
I feel like these are good goals. It's not like we're like do or die about certain things. It has nothing to do with like, weight loss or a diet plan or any of that, because that stuff is so, we talk about this a lot, but it's the diet industry thrives on telling you that you're not good enough, and you can only be good enough if you use these certain products.
Is ridiculous.
So I like these. I feel like this is good. And, if you're listening, hopefully you are, if you make resolutions, hopefully you're making some that make you feel good, because I think that's what it should be about.
Yeah. Focus on adding more good in your life, not taking away or depriving yourself of something. And
definitely,
I think it's a whole body health, mental kind of thing that I want to focus on. So I would recommend other people do the same kind of thing for 2020.
Yes. So it's time for the last segment of our show here. What is bringing you joy this week? Or what's your thing this week?
Well, I guess we just got back from a week of vacation. I took a week of vacation, went to Montana, went skiing a bunch. I was just on it's just like, I don't know if you've gone skiing, but there's like Magic Carpet, which is like this little, it's like one of those moving walkways at the airport kind of thing, but it goes up a little hill. So you get on it and you go up. It's just like the little baby hill, and then you come down. So I did that because it's been like a year since I've done it. And I'm like, I don't really remember what I'm supposed to do. So I did that a few times. Then it got really busy because it was like all the lessons started happening. So I had to go to the take the lift up the mountain and go down. But I had done it a few years ago. Well, I guess like 4 years ago now, I think, on this hill in Whitefish, Montana.
Okay.
It's so much fun. Like when I'm actually doing it, it's so much fun, but it's literally terrifying every time I go up the lift. I don't like heights. I don't like rides or anything like that. I don't do well on any of that stuff. But once I'm like, it takes me, like, you get up to the top and it kind of dumps you off, and I just sit there and like, okay, calm down after the ride on the lift,
right?
Because I'm freaked out. And then like go up to the top, or like where you're about to go down. I'm like, oh God, this is the next scary thing. So you go down, and then, but once I'm like in it, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like free, and you're just kind of, and it's really quiet, even though there's like a lot of people out there because of the snow and, whatever. But Yeah, but my legs were killing me for like 3 days afterward because you're like kind of crouching or squatting just a little bit, you know, to keep your legs. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun.
It sounds awesome. Everything except for the ski lift.
Yeah.
I've only been on a lift once, and it was in the summer, so it was all just rocks and doom below me. So
I know. I'm like, well, and everyone, my partner Bjorn, he basically grew up on this mountain.
Yeah.
So he'd be up there all the time. So it's no big deal for him.
Right.
So I'm just like, go do your thing, and I'm going to be over here on the bunny hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but I have to put the bar down.
Totally.
I don't like just dangling.
Hell no.
I'm like, stop swinging your legs. Just stop moving. Can we just be quiet?
Right.
My heart is racing. My palms are sweaty. Can we just... It's really high up.
I've convinced myself that if it's snowy, that it would be a soft powder.
See,
if you fell
that's what I do in my head too. I'm like, I'm having fun. This is great. I'm having fun. This is great. Like I just keep repeating that over and over in my head. I'm not going to die if I fall. It's going to be a fluffy landing.
Hello. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that was kind of what I did. It was great, and I'm looking forward. Like we're going to go here in Oregon to a couple other ski hills because we went last year and it was a little too much for me, so we have to find one that's downgraded a little bit because we've got friends that like to go skiing too. So
you got to work your way up.
Yeah. And it was so funny though. We went into Whitefish, into a little town. They have lots of little gift shops and stuff. And one of the shirts in the shop had a green circle and it said, "I suck." So if you don't know what skiing is, the easy runs are labeled with green circles.
Yeah.
And so it was, and Bjorn was like, "Oh, should I get you that shirt?" I know he was joking, but I was like, "You better not give me that shirt."
Right.
I was having fun. Leave me alone.
Yes. That's what matters. You had fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Yeah. I would love to do that sometime.
It's something that it scares me. So it's like good to push me. Like, I'm not ready. I need to go down this little bunny hill 3 or 4 more times and then I'll be good.
It's good to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. You have to push yourself just a little bit,
Right.
But it still scares me every time I do it, but it's fun.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Bruce?
So for me, my thing this week is a podcast that is not ours.
No.
It's a podcast called Good One. And it's a podcast about comedy. And about jokes.
We listened to a bunch of that on the drive.
So good.
They did their top 10 comedy specials thing. We listened to that.
And it's really good. And it's fun to listen to. Usually what they do is they break down jokes. They take specific jokes.
They interview the comedians and
And Bjorn they break those down. One. It's so good. And it's hosted by a writer from Vulture, Jesse David Fox. He talks to everybody about jokes, and the jokes some of them are stand-up, some of them are in movies, some of them are TV. Okay. So Taika Waititi talked about certain parts of Thor Ragnarok. Nikki Glazer talked to her about she does a lot of roasts, like the Friars roast or Comedy Central roast of Bruce Willis. And the joke, and I love the roasts. They're just like one-liners that are just hit you so fast, and they're usually horribly mean, but they're so good. They're so good. So it's a lot of fun for me to listen to somebody kind of break down their craft to see how they're making the donuts. What does it take to do that?
The behind the scene look kind of deal. Yeah, it's really good.
They did one with the guys behind I Think You Should Leave, which is a Netflix show with of course his name is escaping me, one of the guys from Detroiters, which is a Comedy Central show. It's on Netflix. It's a weird
I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's great. And they talked about this one specific skit, and it's just so good. They break all these things down, but he talks to everybody. He's talked to Seinfeld, Tig Notaro, all of these different people. Danny McBride about the opening of Righteous Gemstones and how they did this whole thing. There was like a baptism thing in a Chinese theme park, and they did it. It's phenomenal. It's so good. The whole thing, but it's. I think that it is so interesting to listen to people talk about how they came up with the thing that they put together. That. In so many cases,
inspiration.
Totally, and it turns into something else. completely in a lot of cases. So it's really cool to hear those things. So I highly recommend it. They have a lot of episodes, so dive in, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I did.
Awesome.
Right.
Well,
we did it.
Fun.
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate you grabbing me a beer that you think I would like.
Yeah, it's a good one. I really enjoy this. I feel like we need to be sitting in like big leather chairs. Mm-hmm. There needs to be like the smell of sweet cigars in the background. It kind of has that sort of feel to me.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
I love this.
All right. Well, thanks, Bruce.
All right. Thanks, Jody. Until next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
podcasts. Podcasts.